O Jezu, przepraszam, wiesz co?
Już jutro od 8 rano.
Do 20 też? Kurde. Chuj. Myślałem, że do sygnały.
Okay, so this feels weird for me. It's the first time I'm doing it, so please excuse my awkwardness. I'll start right off with the beginning of the training week, which would be the high bar squats. Well, as you can see in the video, there's only one rep recorded because, let's say, I had a cameraman malfunction. This is the last rep, but basically I could just put it on the repeat 10 times because all of the reps moved fairly consistently and it all felt very easy. Well, as predicted, it was only 100 kg, so that shouldn't be any problem. I was using minimal equipment throughout the whole week just to sort of engage everything I've got, and yeah, well, with the meet prep beforehand, I was used to wearing all the equipment, so that's something I always like to do. I don't know what are your thoughts on it, but for me, I just feel really good, both physically, like I feel I engage more, and both as well as mentally, because I just don't need to worry about it, and it makes the gym bag quite a heck of a lot lighter. So this felt good, although I gotta say high bars always feel awkward for me. I guess that's because of my lengthy legs and just because I don't do them whole often. I know that my knee is fairly unstable, and I believe it's because of my feet collapsing, but I'm not sure. Uh, but the squats felt good. Nothing special about them. Well, that was RP 5, so yeah, I honestly have no idea how to judge the RPs right now, because for me anything below 7 is just a blur. So we'll see how that goes. Going next to the 2 count bench, it was at 80 kg, and I've got to say it felt much better than expected. By the way, this were the first comp or very close to comp lifts I did since the meet, so I expected everything to feel like shit. Surprisingly, it didn't. Well, I assume it's mostly because it was RP 5 and 6 most of the time. Anyways, bench felt really good. My back felt crazy tight, and yeah, just felt good. Moving on to the RDLs, I've got to say I think it's the first time ever, but I'm pretty sure it's the first time in a couple of years I did RDLs, especially with the barbell, because whenever I do them I usually do them with dumbbells or kettlebells. So I have no idea how to move properly in this exercise, but so I don't really have a point of reference. I know that during this first training I went too low on some of the reps and actually ended up doing a touch and go deadlift, and I believe my knees were bending too much. But all in all, it felt good. I actually felt it quite a lot in my hamstrings, so that's that. Moving on, day 2 was the main bench day, and I moved 90 kg that day, which felt really good. Still not wearing wrist wraps, so and I actually feel a little bit of a difference between the wrist wraps, and especially in a shoulder position. I'm not sure if that's your experience with it, but I do feel some difference, but felt really good. Actually, bench has consistently felt really good throughout the week. And yeah, I actually really feel my leg drive going on. I have a decent pump in my quads after bench, so as well as in my back, so that's another indicator that things are going well. Next day was comp squats, and I went up to 140 for the set of 4, and it felt a bit funky. I just know that the squats are obviously the lift that suffers the most after a certain break, and this was my first comp squat since the meet. So for well, actually 3 weeks, right? So yeah, it felt awkward at first, but felt better when going on. And then post squats, and you really want to kill me. I only went for 120 kg, and it still sucked, but it moved well. Felt good apart from the fact that I wanted to die. I absolutely hate them. I'd rather do, well, there's virtually no squat accessory I hate more, but rather variation. But yeah, they moved well. Moving on to deadlifts. Well, first point, I am doing them barefoot for 2 reasons. Firstly, to focus a little bit more on digging the toe in the ground, and secondly to not take too many stuff to the gym, so just to make my gym bag a bit lighter instead of taking 2 pairs of shoes. And secondly, I moved my stance a tiny bit wider than I used to beforehand, just to give it a shot. And yeah, my hips feel fairly good in this stance, so I sticked with it for that training session at least. And I don't know what are your thoughts on it. Secondly, I am wearing a belt, which I didn't for a long while, and more importantly, I'm wearing the belt extremely low, because I didn't wear the belt for sumos before because it felt uncomfortable. It felt like my pressure in the stomach would just make me puke. And I could set up much more comfortably and consistently, especially when doing reps without a belt, so that's why I ditched it up until the meet. And I wore it lower just because a friend of mine, who's actually an international level competitor himself, gave me a tip that maybe I should just wear it lower, which made sense. So I did, and it felt better than the high position. And yeah, and it's a very extreme difference between belt position in squat versus deadlift, because in the deadlift my belt is pretty extremely high, while here it's extremely low. Yeah, and moving on to how it actually felt, not what I did, is, well, I know I rushed it quite a lot. I see clearly my hips shooting up, and I'm not sure if it's because of the stance or because of how outside my feet are pointed, but I feel like my knees were locking in and out when looking out the deadlift. And even though they felt really light, I don't really like how they looked, especially it being only 160 kilos. But again, similar to the squat, I only did sumos once since the meet, so I guess it just needs some time to come back. Moving on to another bench day, because bench is life. I feel like I rushed the 2 count pulls a tiny bit, but they felt really good. Well, as I said, consistently bench has been feeling great, and that's pretty much it. Well, as for the variations, I believe it's second or third time I did Spoto press, so I really felt that my shoulders were moving in and out of position, shoulders and elbows. It felt kind of awkward at first, but started to click by the end of the training session, and that was it for last week. I didn't include what I started doing this week, just because I usually have my first training session of the week either Wednesday or Thursday, so I think maybe it's better to just keep it week by week, and especially with the first session being fairly light. If you think otherwise, just let me know, and I'll post the next week of training consisting of 5 days, and we'll sort of move a little bit with the following videos to start with day 2 of training and finish on day 1 instead of 1 through 4. Yeah, so to sum up, this week felt really good. I actually did all the workouts in 1 hour to 1 hour and 30 minutes, just because I thought that, well, if it's light, I'll just keep it quick. That's the first point. Second point would be, as I said previously, RPEs below 7 are really hard to gauge for me, so I have no idea if this was actually RPE 5, 6 or whatever, because I just don't know. And what else? Well, I really like the training change, and it feels good. Uh, it's a bit different format that I'm used to. It being an off season, I like the bodybuilding-esque stuff I'm doing as well. So all the reps of 10 to 15 and even up to 20 felt really nice actually for a change. Um, yeah, and I feel my conditioning is slowly going up. And as for my lifestyle changes, I've got two puppies at home right now, so it's quite a big of a difference, especially when it comes to sleep and moving throughout the day, and stress, obviously. So when it comes to sleep, I feel like I'm sleeping good most of the time. Trying to hit about 8.5 hours every day. However, the sleep is split into few long naps, let's say. So because dogs will basically wake me up 3 or 4 times a night, because there are two puppies. And as for stress, well, it is a big lifestyle change, and yeah, I've got it's a little bit harder to adapt than I expected, but it's slowly coming in. The first week was diet-wise completely random. I underate most of the time, and well, thanks to that, my body weight is down, and it's staying now at this level, which is below 94 kg, which is, well, nice. And yeah, and well, I'll also attribute it to me moving quite a bit more, because well, one of the puppies is a greyhound, so he needs a lot of running, and I end up hitting around 15,000 steps every day, which is half more than I used to before. And yeah, I had some stress connected to the puppies when it comes to the lifestyle change with my girlfriend. That's getting sorted as well. We're both adapting, so that's good. And yeah, well, it is stressful now, but I believe that it will be much less stressful when we get fully adapted, and the puppies will, well, let's just put it that way, behave well. And yeah, as for the puppies, as I said, one of them is a greyhound. Her name is Diana, and the other one is a black cocker spaniel. Her name is Dolly, and they're quite a lot of fun and quite a handful. And I'll leave you now with the video of them playing in a bed, which I find extremely cute. So anyways, thanks for tuning, and I'll see you next week. Bye.